So in this video, I'm just going to talk about Stackplots in Matplotlib.pyplot essentially. So let's get to it. I've got my X label, my Y label, and the plot showing, and also I've done my import. Only thing I don't have here is a legend, which we'll get to later on. Now, what is a stack plot? Well, a stack plot is actually basically a plot that kind of shows you the distribution of different variables. So let's say you've got three y variables that you're plotting along the same x coordinates, right? And you want to see the total value of y. So I don't know, the accumulated value of the three different y plots for each x value. You want to see kind of what percentage or what amount of that total value is each y individual plot. That is what you'd use a stack plot for. If that didn't make sense, don't worry. I'm gonna actually make a stack plot and I'll show you what I mean. But basically, you plot several y values on one x in a stack plot. We'll start with the x value. We'll just make it simple: 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. We'll say y1 is equal to, I don't know, we'll say 1, 1, 2, 3, 1. Okay. We'll say that y2 is equal to, I don't know, let's say 6, 2, 4, 1, 1, right? And then we'll say that y3 is equal to, well, we're going to make everything add up to 10 here. So I'm going to say that's equal to 3, it's equal to 7, it's equal to 4, it's equal to 6, it's equal to 8, right? And we're going to make a stack plot, and we just use plt dot stackplot. Probably what you expected. Now, in order to plot all the y values against the x, we obviously put our x first. In fact, you can see, and where it says args here, what we actually want as our args are all the different y values. So we'll put y1, y2, y3, and that should make a plot with them in it. I'm not going to show you labels and colors right now because we'll get default colors and no labels. So I'll just show you how this works, what it produces, right? So the bottom value is our first y value. The second value is our second y value, and this third sort of green set of values is our y3 value. Now, in case you haven't noticed, if you add every single y value against each x value up, so the accumulated value of the total of the y's, this plus this plus this for this line is 10, for this line it's 10, for this line it's 10, for this line it's 10, and for this line it's 10. So our total y value is 10 when you add all of these y values up line per line, right? And you can see each sort of set of y coordinates or y plots has, all these different values, right? And we're trying to see what kind of percentage of 10 each individual y plot takes. So for x1, we're seeing that this second orange value here is taking up basically 7 out of 10 of these spots. So I don't know what it is. It might be who was the most popular for the day, or there might be 10 students and they vote a certain subject and you're trying to change their opinion on that subject, or there's a bunch of debates. Let's say the first day, most students have this opinion, right? This opinion of that subject. So 7 students have that opinion. 1 student has this opinion and 3 have this opinion. And the next day, the numbers change again. What this type of visualization gives you is like just to look at the percentage per the day, or like the I don't know, the cut, the amount, the slice of that value out of the total value, right? Could be sales as well. Could be you have 100 sales a day as a maximum limit, and you have 3 or 4 different products you sell, and you want to see which products are selling the most if you have a 100 sale limit for whatever reason. And you use like a stack plot like this to just kind of see what kind of, what's selling most. You might have a stock stock value. So you might have certain different stock items or markets. So you might want one might be gold, the other might be property, and the other might be like lumber or minerals, for example. And you're seeing over time, which stock and asset is taking the biggest percentage of the total market cap available of. So these are a lot of different reasons why you'd use a stat plot. Now, I said I would get into, I don't actually need to copy and paste that, X and Y's. I said I would get into basically the labels and the colors. So I'll start with colors. As you can see here, these are really cool default colors that you just get from Stackplots. But you might want your own colors. So maybe I, for some reason, decided, hey, actually, I want a red, I want a blue, and I also want a pink color, okay? Because I just think that might be a bit more aesthetically pleasing to whoever I'm producing these charts for. There you are. I don't really think it's much better, but for whatever reason you might want to select your own colors. Might be a country flag. This looks pretty similar to a lot of flag colors. You might want to put white there, and that's a lot of different countries' flags. So you might have reasons to have whatever colors. Another thing you might have one thing you might have noticed is this colors argument for each Y is actually an array. The same will be true for labels. So one thing you can see now is we don't necessarily know which is Y1, Y2, Y3. The only reason we can tell is because this first number is a value 1, and that only takes up 1 here. This is a value 6, and you can see it's taken up 6 here. And this is of value 3. And you can see how much it's taken up. So from that we can tell which is Y1, Y2, Y3. But if we had, say, 8 or 10 values, for example, over, 100x values, right? 10 different Y lines over 100x values. It'd be very difficult to remember which was which. It might be very difficult to see which is which because the numbers might be so small. Like here, you can barely tell that's 1, right? So you're going to want to add labels. So you add labels before the colors argument. And it's exactly the same. I'm just going to add a comma there. Just make an array. So we're going to say y1, oops, y2, y3. Okay. Now, oops, one thing I forgot is a legend. I didn't add the legend. So I added labels, but I didn't say, hey computer, we've added the labels, put a legend in. There's our legend, and you can see we've got y1, y2, and y3. If you've understood all of that, that's great. This is the end of the tutorial for you. Although I'm about to do a practical example just to kind of help you understand what Stackplots are used for, just to give you a real world kind of example, right? So I'm going to make a new Stackplot. Let's call it, I don't know, we'll have an X. What can X be? Well, X will just be X. We don't worry about that. Actually, we'll say total market cap. Or actually, no. We'll say total sales. Say total sales, right? And we're going to start with a figure of, I don't know, 100. Oh, we'll say sales years. We'll say sales years. Sales years. That's better. I'm going to say the years are 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, right? I'm going to say that we are the owners of a pet shop. Even if you're not, just pretend you are. And we sell mammals. We sell reptiles. And we sell fish. Okay? As pets. Okay? And we want to figure out, basically in these years, what have we sold the most of, right? We're just going to say that we've had, for the first year, we're going to say we've had 10,000 sales every year, right? So we're going to say in the first year we had 4,000 mammal sales. We're going to say we had 2,500 reptile sales. And then what does that leave us with? I think it's 3,500 fish sales, right? And we're going to say in second year we're on 3,700 mammal sales. Reptiles, I don't know, let's say 2 Let's say 3,000. We've really sort of done the numbers up there. What does that leave us with there? I think it's 3,300 fish. And then we're going to say, I don't know, what should we say for mammals? That we're at 3,000, then we're at 2,000, then we're at 1,000. So you can see the sales are kind of dropping per year there. Let's say reptiles has gone up to 4,000 in this year, 5,000 in this year, and 6,000 in this year, right? Let's say fish has gone to, well, it's going to have to be 3,000 here, 3,000 here, and 3,000 here. I think that's right. I hope it is. Otherwise, I've messed it up. Let me see. That's 10k. That's also 10k. Is it? No, it's not. No, it bloody well isn't, is it? It must be 300. Does it? I am confused now. I am actually confused, genuinely. 700. Yeah, it wants to be 300. That's fine. 3,000 plus 4,000 plus 3,500. Yeah. I'm just going to trust it. You know what? I'm just going to trust it. plt.stackplot. And what we're going to say is we want our first X to be the sales years, right? We want our first Y to be the mammals, because they were our highest seller. We then want it to be reptiles. We then want it to be fish, right? And then we want to say the labels are equal to mammal, reptile, fish. Okay. And we'll just let we'll just use the default colors because I've already kind of gone over a line there. We're going to say plt.xlabel. We're not going to just call it X this time. We are actually going to have to give it a real X label. We're going to call it year. Okay. And we're going to say plt.ylabel. I'm going to call this amount sold. We're going to make a legend now of this, plt.legend. I think we're going to have to put a title on it. So I'm going to say plot.title. Pets sold per year, something like that. And then we'll say plt.show. Let's see how this goes. Has no Y label, that's why. Just got to redo that there. Sorry about that. It should work. There we are. So, I don't know what these X ticks are. I'd change them, but I just don't care. So, what you can see here is in these years 2001, 2002, 2003, 2004, 2005, we sold 10,000 pets per year at our pet shop. It's just a small pet shop. Well, actually, could be a massive one depending on what mammals we're selling. But anyway, we sell somehow exactly 10,000 pets every single year, right? And as you can see, when we start off, we're selling 4,000 mammals, we're selling 2,500 reptiles, and a bunch of fish. How many is it? 3,500 fish. More than just the numbers, what you can see is over time, the amount of mammals or the percentage of mammals that we're selling compared to the percentage of reptiles is decreasing. You can see this line is decreasing over time. And so it seems like the trend is saying, hey, people aren't buying mammals, or maybe we're not selling them at a competitive enough rate, or just that the mammal business, the sale of mammals, so rabbits and stuff like that, is dropping year over year. And you can see that this reptile line here is getting bigger over time. It's just slowly increasing, right? You can see that we are selling more and more reptiles. So this could signify that either we're getting better at selling reptiles, or we sell reptiles at very low cost, low price, and people like that. It could just show that reptiles are more popular, all kinds of stuff. You can see here with this fish line, the fish demand kind of drops from 2001 to 2003, from 2003 to 2005. We're basically selling the same percentage of fish. So what this pet sold per year is basically telling us is that for whatever reason, people are buying reptiles like mad now. Mammals just aren't being sold as much for whatever reason. Now, it doesn't tell us why, it just tells us what's happening. And that fish demand hasn't really changed, that fish is being sold at the same rate, right? Now, why this might be important to a company is because there's a few things they can get from this graph. They might say, hey, they might have lots of mammals and they don't know how to sell them or what to do with them. And they might think, hey, we really need to increase our advertising for mammals because we got all these mammals that we need to sell. And then we need to stop buying so many mammals because people just aren't buying them. But hey, we're almost always running out of reptiles. So you really need to sort of buy more reptiles year on year because look how many reptiles people are buying. We might be underselling. Maybe we can finally get more than 10,000 pets per year sold, right? If we buy more reptiles. And you're going to look at the fish line and say, whatever we're doing with fish seems okay. Doesn't seem like there's more or less demand for fish, so just keep buying the same amount of fish, breeding the same amount of fish. We're doing okay there. And this really is the whole sort of point of doing a stack plot. Yeah. So there's kind of like a real world example of a stack plot, why you might use it. And yeah, that's just stack plots in general. Thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed.